I'm good. Right. Hi, I'm Cassidy.
Hi, I'm Maddie.
It's nice to meet you,
Nice
Maddie.
to meet you too.
All right, wonderful. Before we get started, I just kind of want to go over a few housekeeping things with you. Everything you say today will be completely confidential.
Okay.
And the only reason it wouldn't be was if I felt that you were going to be harm to yourself or to others.
Okay.
But besides that, do you have any questions before we get started?
I don't think so.
All right, awesome. Well, let's just jump into this. So,
Okay.
Maddie, what brings you here today?
Well, my life is just kind of a mess. I'm in college. I'm a junior, so I'll be graduating in a year.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of stressed about college. And I have some roommate issues, and I'll be moving in a year, and it's all just kind of piling up and stressing me out. So I think I just needed to talk to someone and let it all out. So that's why I'm here today.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. Do you want to kind of elaborate a little bit more on kind of just like college life? What kind of class are you taking?
So I'm a psychology major, so most of my classes are psychology based. However, I plan to go to grad school for occupational therapy, or eventually get to that point in my life. So I'm taking a little bit of psychology classes and then the prerequisites to get into grad school for occupational therapy. So I have to take some child development classes, which I was really looking forward to because I hope to work with kids.
Mm-hmm.
However, this class this semester has just backfired, and it has become my worst nightmare. And it's just a lot going on in the class. It's a in-class class, but it's also online, so it's kind of like taking two classes at once for the same class, and it's just overwhelming. And we have lots of assignments and a virtual child to keep up with, and quizzes every day in the class on top of chapter tests, and she never gets through a whole lecture in one class. We speed through, and then there'll be blanks at the end of the PowerPoint slides that we're supposed to go over, so then we never have those answered for the test. So it's just this never-ending cycle with this child development class. And then I have to start looking to see which grad schools I would like to apply for, or if I would like to apply for a job as like a behavior analysis first, and maybe hope that they help me pay for grad school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just very stressful. I'm not really sure where to start. I'm not sure what schools to look at or if I want to move. It's just overwhelming me.
Yeah, it does sound like you have a lot on your plate right now, and it can be overwhelming. And that's completely normal, and a lot of college age students feel this way. So I want to kind of go back to this child development class because you seem to have talked a lot about that. Is it the coursework specifically that is difficult, or is it more so just the structure? It sounds
The course material is pretty simple, and it's interesting because it's what I would like to do. However, the structure of the class is kind of just very unorganized, very kind of wishy-washy, and I don't want to be rude, but I think it's the professor's fault, truthfully, so.
Right, and I'm sure that, you said you were interested in that. I'm sure it's aggravating,
Yes, it is very aggravating.
to, want to learn about something and it be difficult
Yes.
to learn it.
Yes.
That's understandable.
So hopefully that class we're almost finished. We only have a couple weeks left.
That's good.
And we don't have a final in this class, which is good. However, we have this huge observation assignment, and she'd like us to observe 2 children, which being in college, it's hard to access children when you don't live at home, so I have to find 2 children to observe and not seem creepy. She suggested that we go to the park, but I feel like that's illegal to go observe random children at a park. So I used to babysit this little boy, and his mom is going to let me observe him, and I have younger siblings. They're just not young enough to meet the criteria, so truthfully I might just make up my second child and just kind of base it off my youngest sister. So hopefully that assignment will go over well, and then after that's finished, I'm pretty much finished with this class, which will be a big relief because I have other classes I need to study for and get good grades in. So.
Now, do you have any issues with any of the rest of your classes, or do you feel, a little overwhelmed with, anything else that
Not really, not really any more of my classes, more so along the lines of if I'm gonna get into the types of grad school programs that I would like to do. I've been looking at a graduate program in Louisville at Spalding University, and you don't have to take the GRE, which is a relief because that's a whole nother test and money and all kinds of studying with that, so. I've been looking at that, and then of course I go to Eastern, and they have a transition program that you can apply for to then apply for the occupational therapy program. However, you have to take the GRE, and every year the program gets more and more competitive, so the GPA gets higher and higher. And I think it's at like a 3.8 right now, and I am around like a 34, which isn't terrible. It's an average college GPA, so. I don't know, I could try, and I could always take the GRE. It just adds more stress with the GRE, and financially it might be hard, but it's an option. And then I can always apply for jobs, and I don't really have any limitations. I'm willing to move wherever I need to go if I can get a job. So maybe if I applied to work with some kids that have autism or Down syndrome, something along those lines, that maybe they would help pay for grad school, that would be really awesome. But it's all just the chance of what happens, and I'm not sure if I should apply for grad school and apply for jobs, or apply for just jobs, or apply just for grad school, or if I get accepted for grad school and a job, what I should do. I'm not sure if you can turn down grad school offers and then reapply and hope to get re-accepted. I just don't know how it all works, so I have to figure that out, which is just another thing to do on top of everything else with finals and finishing up this semester.
Well, it sounds to me you have some plans, you have a lot of options.
Yes.
Which is good. And it seems to me like you're kind of going into the direction of really wanting to go to grad school more than anything. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Because I became a psychology major kind of by chance. It was my minor, and I just didn't want to end up being a 6-year senior, because that's a lot of school, plus more grad school, and I just don't think I can be in school that long. So I became a psychology major. I love it. It just I wasn't expecting to be a psychology major, so kind of derailed my main path, which is fine. I just now have to get back to what I really want to do is work with children with disabilities, so in like a therapeutic, more of a hands-on setting, not like a therapy session like we are right now. So.
Well, it sounds like you have some goals, and that's a good thing. And it sounds like you're working towards those, but I do understand, it is stressful.
It is stressful.
Is this stress kind of manifesting in other areas of your life at all? Is it kind of spilling over to?
Well, somewhat. I have a really bad roommate. She's just she doesn't have a job. Her parents pay for everything. I work on top of school, and I support myself. My dad helps me a little bit, and he helps me pay for school, but mainly if I need to pay for gas, food, or any kind of extra activities, that's on me. So my rent I pay, and so I live with this girl who's just really careless, and she leaves all the lights on, and she's just she has a really bad attitude, so when she doesn't get her way, it's just a mess. And so the stress of school, and then I go home, and then I have to deal with her stress on me, and she's a nursing major, so she just thinks she's a gift from God, and that her major is better than mine, and she's smarter than me, and all this just kind of silly, petty girl drama, and it's just an added annoyance to my life, I would say. So I just try to stay busy, and she does go home every weekend, which is nice, because then it gives me the apartment to myself, and I don't have to deal with her comments and whatnot when we're there together, so that's nice. But I'll just be happy, I think, once I graduate with my undergrad degree. So hopefully this next year I can start figuring out everything and, make some steps forward, because I think I'm ready for that point of my life to come.
Right, and it's good that you're ready, Now, with your roommate, let me kind of go back really quick, because I'm kind of interested in this. Do you all it seems to me like you all don't really see each other all that often. Is that a result of, the stress and the tension between you all, or is it just kind of by chance?
I think it's by chance, but it definitely helps the tension and not wanting to be around, be there. We were friends before we moved in, and I was living alone, and I really needed to save money because it was expensive living by myself. So I needed to save money, and it was going really well at first, and then we went on spring break, and then it just went downhill from there. I actually left spring break early, and it was just very dramatic, and I'm not the kind of person that puts up with other people being mean to me. So I just kind of removed myself from the situation and told her that we can live together and that's fine, but I don't really want to be friends with someone that's a bully. So it's built up tension, and I think that's why she goes home every weekend, which is fine, but I think I just need some space. So I think after our lease is up, which is soon, maybe a month or two, I'm just going to live by myself again, maybe try to find a cheaper place. That way I can really focus on school next semester and grad school and job applications and all the fun stuff that I have to look forward to in the next few months. So.
Right. So you're going to live by yourself, and have you ever lived by yourself before?
Yes.
Or? Okay.
I have a cat, so I'm not completely by myself.
Okay.
She keeps me company, but I enjoy being by myself,
Okay.
and not always, but I enjoy having my own living space. I have lots of friends, and I'm very social, and I like to do fun things and go out with my friends, but when it comes to my living space, I think I just do better by myself. That way I can put the furniture how I want it, have people over when I want to, do the dishes if I want to, or leave them in the sink if I don't want to, and just not have to worry about someone else and turn off the lights and just doing their part of not making sure it's a good living situation.
Now, it seems like you have a lot of people that you're around, so do you have a fairly decent support system for, wanting to get into grad school and working toward your undergraduate degree? Do you have that support system?
Yes. My dad, I grew up with my dad, so he's been very supportive always of my good decisions, not any poor decisions that I've made. And also, I came to Eastern, and I have family that lives in Richmond. So that's nice because they're here, and if I ever need something or eat dinner or, just to be around family, they're here, which is nice to have. And my dad comes to visit every now and then, but like I said, I have 3 younger siblings, so he's busy and he works full time, so he travels a lot. But he always makes sure, I have enough money or I'm getting good grades, and just that I have all my ducks in a row to keep moving forward, because I think he understands my stress, which is nice because he is someone I can confide in and talk to about things. So.
Well, that's fantastic. That is good. Now, we only have a couple more minutes left today. Is there anything else that you kind of wanted to touch on, or anything else you wanted to elaborate on a little bit more?
I'm just not really sure about applying for all this different stuff. I'm not really sure how to go about it, or really how my organization really.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I can use the same types of applying skills for things, and I just think I need to figure that out a little bit more, get organized, maybe get like folders for each type of thing and just stay organized, make sure I have a resume and cover letter and, letters of recommendation and all that kind of stuff in order. That way when a job or a college requests it, I can get it to them. So I just think if I say it out loud, I think it'll help me get it accomplished more once I start to do all this.
Now, let me ask you this. Have you been actively trying to get those things accomplished? Have you talked to any professors about
I've asked 2 people for letters of recommendation. I've been trying to get an internship at Shriners this summer, so I needed letters of recommendation for that. So those are on its way, and I do have a resume that I made in one of my psychology classes. Okay. So I try to keep that updated just so I could maybe use that in the future. And we did make a cover letter also in that class. I do need to update my cover letter. So those are a good step. I just need to make sure they're polished off and get my letters of recommendation in order, and maybe ask a professor or 2 for one, because I've just asked some future previous employers for some so far. So I think I'm in the right direction. I just need to get it all figured out.
It sounds like it. It just sounds to me you just need a little bit of guidance on kind of where to start and where to go
someone
from
hold
there.
it accountable to do
Right.
it also.
That's
So,
important.
Yes.
Well, here is what I would like to do. I would like to see you again.
Okay.
And we can, in our next session, kind of talk about more of a plan and how to implement a plan on how to get you onto the correct path to where you need to go. Because it sounds like you kind of have a pretty clear goal, which is great. So now we can just work together on how to get to that goal.
Okay.
So I'll challenge you this week to kind of work on your own, kind of go through that on your own, and think of ways to get to where you want to go. You know, and I think you're kind of already there, but just really think about it so that when we come back, we can have a clear understanding of you know, where we want to go from here.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. It was nice to meet you.
You too.